Good morning, boys and girls. All right. Continuing with front desk, where we left off last, Uncle Ming came to town. Uncle Ming, and he was having issues. What we talked about, a loan shark. Okay. Remember, don't go to a loan shark for money. All right. If you take anything away from this year, do not go to a loan shark for money. All right. Let's continue. Chapter 11. Uncle Ming stayed for 3 days until he could get his car fixed. With his broken English, he had a hard time communicating with garages, so I helped him call one up that was close by. At first, they weren't so keen to help. When they heard my voice, they said, "Sorry, we don't work on toy cars." I called back, and this time I borrowed a line from my customers. "I'd like to speak to the manager," I said. In the end, I got the manager to send someone over to the motel to take a look at Uncle Ming's car. The repair guy told Uncle Ming he had a radiator problem. They managed to drive the car over to the garage where they fixed it for him. But when it came time to settle the bill, oh boy, Uncle Ming came horribly short. We'd given him $50, which was just about all the extra cash we had. What with Mr. Yao changing the deal and making us pay for the washing machine, but the total bill was $200. So then Uncle Ming tried something crazy. He tried to pay the rest in coupons. He'd been collecting coupons from all over. There were coupons for free chicken nuggets at McDonald's, free haircuts at Supercuts, and free frozen yogurt. There were even coupons for free foot massages. Oh my. "Yes, you can't pay in coupons," the garage manager wailed. "What am I going to do with a free foot massage?" "I'll take it." "We'll take them," his mechanics blurted out from the back of the garage. "Please, sir," Uncle Ming begged the manager. "It's all I have." The manager looked at Uncle Ming for a while, and after much deliberation, he sighed. He took the $50 and the coupons, which he distributed to his mechanics. Everybody cheered. I couldn't believe it. We all waved as Uncle Ming drove away. He promised to return soon and pay my parents back the $50. My dad told him not to worry about it and to focus on getting far, far away from the loan sharks. In school that week, Mrs. Douglas asked us to write a short story. I really wanted to write about the loan sharks, but I didn't know if that was too out there. So I tried to look around to see what other people were writing. Next to me, Jason was scribbling furiously, covering his words with his hand as he wrote. I leaned over, trying to peek at his writing, but Jason shifted his body, blocking my view with his arm. Great. Now he had an arm wall. He turned to me and hissed, "Stop it!" then narrowed his eyes at me. "Mia, eyes on your own paper, please," Mrs. Douglas frowned. She said it like I was cheating. I opened my mouth in protest, then closed it. I blew at my bangs in frustration instead, and plunged my eyes down the blank page in front of me. "Remember, show not tell. Write what you feel, kids," Mrs. Douglas announced to the class. "If you're mad, write mad. If you're sad or worried, write sad and worried." Sounds like Miss Andrews. Huh. I had all those things. I thought about Uncle Ming, his black eye, and the way his voice rose and fell like a curtain when he said, "What do I do, buddy? They're going to kill me." But when I put my pencil down onto the paper, you know what marched onto the page? Puppies and houses. At lunch, Lupe sat next to me, picking at her turkey sandwich while I gobbled up my free school spaghetti. "Why were you looking at Jason's paper?" Lupe asked. "You don't like him, do you? Are you kidding? I can't stand him." "Good, because he's terrible," Lupe said. "You don't even know the half of it," I muttered, shaking my head. "So what did you write about?" "I wrote about how last weekend my parents and I waited in line at the movies for an hour. And when we finally got up to the ticket booth, lady, they were sold out. Isn't that sad?" "That is super sad," I said, hoping one day that would be my super sad. "What about you? What did you do this weekend?" she asked. I turned to tell her about Uncle Ming, then thought, nah, she wouldn't get it. That was so beyond the world of movies and trampolines. Just played with my dog," I lied. After lunch, we went to PE, We were playing softball that day. Both Lupe and I stood way out in the left field, as far from the action as we could, since we both hated sports. Actually, I didn't really hate sports. We just didn't have any medical insurance. My parents didn't want me to take any chances. What if you break your arm? My mom asked when I started going to school in America. What if a ball comes flying, hits you in the head, and you have stitches? Back in China, that would have been no problem, as my uncle was a doctor. Whenever I got sick, he'd come over and take care of me. My uncle always wore a stethoscope around his neck, and when we left for America, he gave it to my dad to take with him. I wish I could take you with me, my dad said to his brother. I'm sure there are doctors in America, my uncle said with a chuckle. It turned out there were doctors, just not for us. Hmm. So my mom made my me promise every morning that I'd stay on the sidelines during gym class. It wasn't always easy to just stand and watch, but now at least I had Lupe with me. Today we were so busy chatting we didn't even notice when the softball landed right next to us. Lupe glanced at the ball and went right back to chatting. She didn't even pick it up. She must really hate sports. All right, I think I have time for the next chapter. All right, chapter 12. Instead of going straight home after school that day, I took the long way back, stopping at various restaurants. I was collecting brochures from the front office. Mr. Yao may be an unbelievable cheapsteak, but there were some things we could do to spruce up the place, like putting flyers out for local establishments or collecting customers' mailings addresses, which I'd already started doing. Anytime a customer checked in, I'd ask them for their home address, so if they left something behind, I could mail it back to them. I was in the middle of sorting through the mountain of brochures and menus when a slightly disheveled looking white man walked up and tapped on the glass. He was tapping furiously, like it was an emergency, so I buzzed him in. That was when it hit me, the sour stench of sweat and alcohol. My throat tightened as the wave of stink crashed into the room. The man was completely drunk. I should not have buzzed him in. Oh boy. I need a room. Oh, he slurred, stumbling toward me. He steadied himself, but by holding on to the front desk with both hands. Give me a room. I need to get my parents. Wait right here, I told him, desperate to get away from this guy. As I hopped off the stool, I realized, wait a minute, I can't leave him here. He could reach over and take all our cash from the cash drawer. He had to go back out. Actually, can you wait outside? I asked timidly. He did not like the sound of that. The man turned to me with his bloodshot eyes and pounded his hand on the counter. What did you say? He bellowed. My mind was racing. I could probably still get out of there if I let him stay inside, but then what about the cash? Please, sir, I tried again. I just need you to wait outside. Why? Why can't I stay right here? He demanded. You just can't, I shouted. I glanced out the window, searching for my parents, but they were still upstairs cleaning. Suddenly, he grabbed my shirt. Are you jerking me around, kid? No, sir. I shook my head from side to side. His rancid breath stung my eyes. With my fingers, I tried to reach for the phone, but his grip on my shirt was too tight. Please, just calm down, I pleaded with him. I thought maybe I could distract him with all my restaurant brochures. Hey, are you hungry? I got a bunch of menus. I don't want some damn menu, he screamed into my face. I'm on a motel room. The next thing I knew, he pounded the counter so hard the wood nearly chipped. I screamed. Tears streamed down my eyes. Through the blur of my tears, I saw a figure outside, banging on the office door. It was Hank. Quickly, I reached down and pressed the buzzer. Hank stormed inside. What the hell do you think you're doing? Hank hollered at the drunk man. Let her go. The man instantly dropped his hands, and I gasped for air, like I'd been holding my breath the entire time. Hank raised his fists. Get out of here before I call the cops, he yelled. The drunk man dragged himself out of the front office, muttering under his breath, She was jerking me around, man. When he finally disappeared around the corner, Hank turned to me. Hey, you all right, kid? He asked. I shook my head. I lifted the divider and collapsed it into his arms. I clung to him and cried, shaking with fear, blind with gratitude. What would have happened to me had Hank not come in? The thought crushed the breath out of me. Shh, it's okay. Hank comforted me, patting my arm. But it wasn't okay. I thought I could make the front desk better with all my spare keys and comment cards, but no card in the world could protect me for what I'd been avoiding since day one. One wrong buzz, and it was all over. That was not just fun and games. This was now dangerous. Wow, things heating up a little bit. All right, loan sharks, drunk men coming into the hotel. Oh my, let's see what happens in chapter 13. All right, jot some stuff down. Maybe make a prediction or a reaction. All right, take care.